when you have the feminines and masculines who are at our 5D frequency. So they don't slow us down. The masculines that slow down a feminine, they don't actively slow us down, but it's the people who don't own their whole self. So communication for your divine masculine, divine feminine, masculine, feminine, how I organize it here. But when you have counterparts, it's I am Maria, a feminine, and then I have masculine counterparts. So they slow down because a person who is a masculine who doesn't have their whole self won't be playful. So they don't know that authority is loving and receptive and wise. They think it needs to fear, monger, shame, and all that other stuff. They don't delight in life, in themselves, in each other. They don't have universal love. They actively just crap on humans for being ignorant. And, ignorance, we can all be educated and empowered, but, people don't believe in the same information. So some people don't believe in trauma and all of that. So we, in the meantime, open-hearted and empowered feminines, know passion and romance, and so do the empowered masculines. Okay, so the empowered masculines are people who have the capacity, again, to be unconditionally loving. So we've transformed, and therefore we're vibing at a frequency where everything that we're wanting gets to keep manifesting in the frequency of playfulness. Playfulness, co-creation with our lovely universe, and that lovely, you're not alone. Okay, so with the mind, the masculine, and the body, the freedom at heart, you know how to sit in silence, and you know how to enjoy each other. So when we have masculines that we enjoy, that means that we get to play. And play means consistent communication from the heart and mind. It's not based on gender stereotypes. It's not based on those roles. I'm talking to you from a spiritual, mystic perspective. Okay, so the energetic imprint is what I bring as a person who feels that. So your oversoul, for feminine, we'll know who our oversoul masculines are. And we'll know who our feminines are and who our feminines masculines are. And like I shared before, the slowing us down, when we look to the past, we realize they didn't really slow us down. They just vibe at a different frequency. And because the ego does not play nice with their own inner world, they then don't play nice with others. Okay, so anytime you got I'm going to break it up and I'm challenging you, that's not a empowered masculine. Okay, so empowered masculines and empowered feminines, and what is the true essence of those two energies, by the way, and those embodiments are curiosity, openness, acceptance, and love. That's Dr. Daniel Siegel's acronyms, because we use our prefrontal cortex. Okay, so when you have a feminine and masculine of their 5D vibe in enlightenment, I have feelings and I have thoughts, and then I'm with people, and then we have subject matters, and then we have more, and we're in the year 2024. So with mystics, they know actively what it is to be, for example, an Akashic record reader, to be a Reiki practitioner, to be tarot card, oracle card reader, and any of the other holistic practices that are out there and spiritual practices. So they will take those seriously, not in a way of we have people on pedestals. Okay, so actively the 5D collective, we know that our 4D, 3D, and all of subject matter experts and subjects are good. They help us to share wealth of information. We're not rigid thinkers because we're in that mind that is integrated and that is mindful. And so there's a restorative embodiment, okay? And that's why the narrow states of consciousness slow us down, but we will be able to, at a certain point, know who are they and to put them to the side. So whenever I'm around any of those who are, whether masculine or feminine, and I'm just going to let you in on a little fun fact, anyone who is not a whole self, they don't own their soul self, they don't own their core, they don't own their narrative relational, so they don't have healthy self-worth. That means they still need a therapist so that they can reclaim their inner child parts. Yes, as long as that's the case, they're not going to be a feminine. They're going to be a person who has clairs that will call themselves a feminine or masculine because they have clairs and spiritual, but they will actively not be yet a clear vessel because they don't embody pure consciousness. They're not able to because the fragments of their self they're not all taken and uncharged and welcomed, so they didn't take their trust break or charge states and start to make sense so that they could get their core self back online and get out of the defectiveness, false sense of self. So as long as they are running around like Braveheart, that false sense of self, that identity. So when I see that, I'm a feminine, they're not. They can have clairs, they're an identity. That's why they're wearing a mask. And so that's one. The masculines, they simply challenge, and they don't challenge in a way that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I'm just going to leave it aside. Because at the end of the day, 4D, 3D exists for those who will not be moving out of the vibration that is beneath the neutrality belt. And in fact, it goes from shame to neutrality. And they continue to cast stones on humanity and on society versus understand that we are here, again, with subject matters and with experts in different types of entrepreneurship endeavors. Okay, so again, you notice, thanks to my entire oversoul, I'm 44, and my spiritual journey began when I was born for me, because I got introduced to Jesus and God. I am lucky like that, and then I got to keep expanding. And then I got clairs at my 27, I began astral travel, and I got my first twin flame out of my 3, and then I got my soulmates, and then I was able to look to the past and notice, okay, I already knew who my soulmates and oversoul members are, and in fact, they're still all a part of my life. I don't lose people. I gain people as I get older. And for our twin flame and flames, it's not saga or drama. It actively is, I get to be myself, they get to be their self, and then we get to, the feminine knows that we are mastering our mental, emotional, and physical planes. So thanks to my lovely oversoul, the twin flames, they got me to master those planes. And by the time you get beyond the one, for me at least, and those who have had more than one special bond in this way of our twin flames, they will also understand who they are and why they are where they are at. And it's not a special gift, and it's not a special anything, but it is a depth of experience. And so here's why, even when I say masculines hold us back, I mean to say that they don't get online with their feminines because they don't choose their self. They don't choose to become their whole unconsciously loving, flawed self with integrity. Okay, so it's a really bummer, big bummer, for when a feminine, an authentic self human being, notices infinite potential in every person you meet in general, and they don't tap into it because they don't get over imposter syndrome. They don't get over their abandonment wound. They don't get over their, getting over, because you can go heal trauma. So they want to talk about knowing how they're leading life, but they're a narrow state of consciousness who just uses evil, Knievel, medieval, and suffering and complaining and so that group is in another group, mindfulness and 5D collective. We are aware. Again, life is full of surprises. We use the words and the emotions. So in time, you create a herd, and that herd are involving people who are emotionally uplifting because they know how to self-regulate. They know how to be accountable. They know how to be aware, and they're actively enjoying learning new things. They're actively enjoying feeling. So feeling deeply, not superficial. That's the other part about masculines. You'll feel that you will have wasted time trying to share experiences from the depths of you in a way that was a waste because there's not interest in depth. Masculines don't care about the body. They actively don't take the time to listen with interest to the depth of what story is being told to them with the emotional stuff because they find it stupid. So yeah, that is very minimizing, huh? Yeah, so you learn how to leave that one alone. I know I have as a feminine when I meet those masculines. When you meet the masculines who are actual masculines, they have depth too. When you meet feminines who are not feminines, they actively will be just as short and cut to the chase kind of deal. So not me, and it's not a big deal. What's a big deal? Okay. Then we all can seem like that to someone, but when you are participating mindfully and with the depths of you and somebody else is sharing their stuff, you will notice that there's a difference. Okay. Curious, open, accepting, loving, present. So present and attuning. Now here's the part that is most important. It's if a person and another are enriched. So that's why sharing the mystic aspect, for example, for feminine is really fun when we have masculines that embody that depth of perception, depth of love, depth of wanting to hear all of the details. Okay, so like when I have had a number of dreams, astral travel, you name it, and I've wanted to share that. The ones who get curious and ask for more are the ones that I get to enjoy and be enriched by. As for masculines, feminines, we always enjoy depth together when they're feminines, because the feminine comes from the heart and the body, and then she uses the mind to share that, right? Okay, so again, the stories for feminines are that we will be, for some time, getting used to understanding which ones of the masculines are actively vibing with depth of perception, depth of emotion, so that they want to share meaningful connection from the heart, that they are being their authentic self, and that they actively embrace also spirituality and mysticism for those of us here, as well as for my entrepreneurs, subject matters of great interest, and not the ones who are with these pain points, the ones who are dragging each other around, and that's a very different energy. Feminines, for the masculines, I can't speak for masculine because I'm a feminine, but what I can share and gather is that they enjoy being able to be welcomed as they are. And then that part about getting to, I'm a feminine. I actively won't do a good job at this one because there's too many different ideas and thoughts that come to mind, but it would be not effective anyways. So when we have a masculine who will want to share his story, but he'll be a 5D masculine, I'll let you know. We'll see if he lets me interview them. They could be a she, it doesn't matter, but I'll know if they propose themselves who they are. Meantime, again, for feminines, we like when we meet those who are embodying their own masculine, feminine energy. So it'll be depth of emotion, depth of meaning. It'll be humble. It'll be ego that is softened, self that is there. It's a person who's smart. It's a mystic who's smart and who knows that we're not in the medieval times anymore. And then we will also acknowledge that nobody slows anyone down, that for feminine, it's just a lot easier to see that which can manifest because we tap into the infinite potential of the people we will meet. So it's automatic for me. When I meet you, I know your highest frequency, which will be in the enlightenment vibration. It's an empowered person. It's a restored embodiment self. If you don't meet it as you move along life, I'll notice it. I won't mention it, but I'll notice it. So then I'm now in a vibe that's not where I was at before, and I'm going to have to make do. So this is why we actively are very much in a good spot when we figure out how to notice all of that, which is a slowed down masculine. So masculine who's not going to embody any of what they are here to embody. In the year 2024 we are, so there's a lot of great therapists out there who help people who do want to embody their wholeness, and it's really fun to know that. So we'll be back with more stories. In the meantime, universal love, delight, authority, and true masculines, communication, true feminines. We know what romance is. It's called we intellectually and passion, emotionally, and with open hearts, consistently communicate. In fact, silence is not the art of any masculine or feminine for that matter. We are people who enjoy to enrich each other with each other. That's the whole other part. Yeah, counterparts. Empowered couples. The ones who are empowered, they're doing things in great ways, and you'll notice who they are. The ones who pretend to be empowered, they are very cute. They're there for the ones who will stick to that energy. All I can tell you as a feminine is that every time I've gotten the opportunity to look to the past, I always say, man, I'm so lucky. Oh, thank goodness. And that's where, since I already know this, that I'm telling it to you, I can tell you that even when I was like, I really don't know if I'm going to make it out of this one like this, because this was really a big one. You'll get out of it. You will. So that's what a feminine will always know, is that we will get to our next expanded self, and it will be greater than before, because you are not looking for love when you are embodying love, which is what a feminine embodies, because that's what all of creation is. It's essence of love and life, unconditional, not conditional. We are all imperfect and flawed, and again, it's not a word, it's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's a sensation, and it's one of bliss. So unconditional love to me is like bliss. It's not wine, it's enriching. You will know this flavor when you're embodying more of the essence of life that you are. That's you and your first whole self, all your child parts uncharged, your prefrontal cortex. You got an integrated brain, you got a restorative embodiment self. You're aware with that restorative embodiment. You want to stay that way. You don't want sympathetic on. You know that serves survival mode only when you are in physical danger. You don't need it when you're dealing with people. Okay, so it's a beautiful, empowering and enriching journey, integration of the brain and restorative embodiment. Your body and brain are headed that way. When things come up, if they are challenging, that's why there's good therapists, and then you keep doing the rest. The people who don't know about attachment trauma don't give you this part of the information. So again, masculines who are actively masculines for this feminine, who knows what feminine is, they're going to be like a Sadhguru. They're gonna be, I don't know about that. Sadhguru for sure. I'm thinking about who else. Well, I don't know about who else, but for sure Sadhguru, even though I don't know what he identifies as, but I'm pretty sure it's a masculine, and actively the reason why he did move into what he did makes sense, that he's a masculine. I know that for me, I'm a feminine, and that the masculines that have brought me complementary, they always have supported me to get to exactly where I wanted to keep on headed, and I did. And I do. And so again, once you reach that visible plane and the clairs, you're not confused, you're not destabilized. You actively don't go around telling masculines, hey, you're my masculine, hey, you're this, unless they are, again, into mysticism. But if they are, well, that's going to be a whole different story. We'll find out, won't we? I have plenty of future time left. So in the meantime, for now, I have some people that are mystics, but not enough to share more stories with. But I'm sure we will have plenty of fun stories. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.